Hi, I'm Kat, marketer turned brand storyteller.
And I'm Candice, educator turned entrepreneur.
And you're listening to
Not Nice, Clever.
As CEOs and leaders, it's your job to always have the answers, but sometimes you need a little help. Leverage, if you will. We get it. This is the place for you.
So wherever you're listening, 5:30 a.m. club at the gym, on your way to your next meeting, or putting out today's fire, let's get into it. In today's mini episode, we're talking about Twitter, what everyone's talking about online, it seems, and their rebrand to X. Now, full disclosure here, I just Googled all of this. I don't know too much about it. I haven't been on Twitter since 2017. Ever? Who knows? I don't remember. Yeah, ever. I think there's 2 tweets there. I probably should go back and delete that because I don't even know what I said then. But it's been a while, but it has been coming up actually even in my consultations with people. People are bringing it up and I thought, well, I should maybe know a little something about this. So Kat, we're talking about it today. What are your thoughts?
So I will also be super transparent in that. And I've told this to clients, I've told this to friends. The only reason I ever created a Twitter account in the first place was to stalk Ryan Reynolds and just follow along on his ever evolving bromance with Hugh Jackman. So full disclosure, it wasn't even to be super involved with my community, get in touch with media personalities and journalists, although now that is a part of my PR strategy, which I should probably revisit on X. But I just felt like we should address this because it is coming up. It is influencing conversations around branding. And I don't know, can you really call it a rebrand if when you still logged in or it was launched, you still saw the bird and the blue in so many places? What a messy, chaotic time, right? And poor their new COO or CEO, she came on board and then Elon just threw this rebrand at her immediately and she had to pivot. I can't even imagine having her job.
That's crazy. No, it's this is a branding emergency, I guess.
It is. They do exist.
We always say there's no branding emergencies, but I guess there are some. I see on The Verge, of course I'm Googling, it says Twitter is being rebranded as X, and after Elon Musk tweeted about it, the bird site is shedding its feathers, which I just love that.
That is kind of funny. I appreciate that wordplay.
It's so funny. The bird site is shedding its feathers. So that's really an interesting little wordplay there. But why is this happening? What does this mean?
I do not know. And I was having a conversation with somebody the other day and they were saying how, anytime Elon does something, the initial gut reaction is, you're nuts. Where is this coming from? It's so out of left field. And then eventually it all starts to make sense. And people are like, well, shit, maybe he was onto something. And so I think, speaking to kind of the audience that he's built and the equity he has kind of garnered with them, they're like, okay, Elon, we will follow you along and see where this goes. And it just seems like there's more to it. I definitely think it was meant as, it's definitely generating the PR buzz because now there's supposedly a fight going down between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. I don't know if this is bare knuckle. I don't know if this is the celebrity, jab hook, right hook, but I don't know. It's very odd.
So I'm reading, of course, I'm on CBS News and it says, what will the app do now? And it says Musk has been vocal about his goal of turning Twitter into a so-called super app, something akin to China's WeChat. For now, there's no American equivalent to such an app, but industry experts imagine an app that encompasses basically anything a person wants to do online.
Interesting.
And there's part of this article that talks about how X, the everything app, which is really seems like a pivot. It's a stronger word than pivot, but I don't know the word for it.
A hard right turn,
Yes, exactly. From the original 140 characters, just simple tweet back and forth about, ideas and news and thoughts. And now it's trying to rebrand as an everything app, which is really interesting. And literally in this article, everything is in quotation marks in multiple places.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to follow along. And I actually pulled up, I think I'm on that same article that you're reading, The Verge. It is CEO Linda Yaccarino and her saying, X is here, let's do this. As you were talking about, and if that is the larger goal, the name and the iconography kind of makes sense because what it reminds me of is like a treasure hunt where it says X marks the spot. And that's the Holy Grail. That's the pot of gold. That is the, be all end all where you can find what you've been searching for. So I don't know. It's interesting. Like we always approach rebranding very intentionally and making sure that like whenever we work with clients, their digital presence is very aligned, that the rebranding reflects who they are. I think it's harder when these larger corporations go through a rebrand because you don't really know like the soul of the corporation or what it looks like under new leadership. And so it's been definitely causing quite a buzz, but we'll just have to see how it shakes out.
On here, I'm reading, it says, what's with the letter X? And it says, Musk appears to have a long-standing fixation on the letter X, dubbing his very first startup X.com.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I didn't know that either. And so he says, we're very excited about finally implementing X.com as it should have been done using Twitter as an accelerant.
Interesting. So has this like been a game that he's been playing for a lot longer than we think?
Than we ever knew. Yeah.
I mean, well, then I guess from our perspective, it seemed like it was out of left field. But for him, he was like, fucking finally, I have enough money.
It's all part of his master plan.
I know. He's giving Lex Luthor vibes. And I just hope that he uses all of his brain power and visionary prowess for the betterment of humanity.
Oh my gosh, are we back to Marvel references? Is that what's happening here?
I mean,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, but you don't know who Lex Luthor is? He's Superman's arch nemesis. Well, okay, so I grew up watching like the Christopher Reeve Superman films. Like I'm so showing my nerd here. So Christopher Reeves was Superman and Gene Hackman played Lex Luthor. And Lex Luthor was his human adversary on Earth. He was kind of similar to Batman and he was really, really smart, really, really tortured and traumatized, had a lot of money at his disposal.
Y'all, I'm sorry for opening this door, but we're going to be here for a minute.
Anyway, Lex Luthor is a baddie, right? That's the long and the short of it. And Elon has just been giving me Lex Luthor vibes. And then he rebrands, the beautiful bright blue bird of Twitter to this very kind of sterile looking, very space-esque like X. It just, I don't know. It seems in line with his other branding from his other companies, like namely Tesla. I don't know about what the branding for like the Boring Company was when he was selling flamethrowers on Twitter, but it's just, I don't know. It remains to be seen. We're keeping our eye on Elon.
It says, what does this mean for Twitter? And so it's talking a little bit about the platform, and currently it's just a name change. There's not new features necessarily that have been introduced. And it's being used in a similar way, according to this article, that it was when it was Twitter.
Okay.
But some people predicted that when he bought it, he was going to kind of revamp it and then sell it again pretty quickly. And now they're like, this is more personal.
Yeah. It feels personal, right?
Yeah. And they're like, it says the option to sell is pretty much off the table now, given the name change. I don't think there's any prospective buyer who wants it now.
Yeah. And like,
so that was interesting.
It is very interesting. So we would love to hear your thoughts on the rebrand of Twitter to X. If you have a different perspective or you've got a different article, even though Candice and I aren't experts on Twitter, we are experts in branding. And it's always just very much a head scratcher when something like this comes along, but we love to dig into it. So feel free to shoot us a DM on Instagram at NotNiceClever. And if there's a question on your mind or you'd like us to take a look at a rebrand that you are going through, feel free to hit us up.
Thanks for joining us on Not Nice Clever.
Remember to follow Not Nice Clever wherever you listen to audio.
And if you haven't already, drop that 5-star review.
Share your takeaways. Tell us your story. We love to hear it.
Signing off, your not so nice, but oh so clever besties that mean business.
See you soon.